Hello again, everybody. Barry Hyatt here in Scottsville at the UK Extension Office with my good friend Janet Johnson. Janet, we are in March, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we see no more snow.
Oh, Barry, I know. Can you tell that I have seen a little too much snow on my driveway? Bronchitis from shoveling yet another driveway of snow the first of the month. I'm
bless your
so
heart.
tired of shoveling snow.
Yeah, I bet you are, and I
know.
hope you get over this soon.
Hopefully soon. I have medication and I'm on the uphill swing, as we know.
Janet is a team player, as always, so she's
trying
going
to
to
do
give it her
it.
best shot today.
I certainly will. And with your help, we'll have great conversation, at least two. Well, Barry, I thought, given the fact that we never know what weather we're going to have in March, that we would take a look at a delicious soup, but yet a little lighter touch, but using some delicious options of green vegetables. This is a great time to look at St. Patty's or just springing into spring, but yet knowing a warm soup for supper may be what you need on these nights as the weather temperature changes.
Sounds great.
So this is going to be called a new potato asparagus soup, but we could name it chicken asparagus soup because we have chunky chicken pieces in the soup. Or it could be called a broccoli asparagus chowder if you wanted to add broccoli, or carrots. But it does have a base, and actually before everyone joined us today, I went ahead and started the base so that we could talk about that, and then we'll show how easy it is to switch your vegetables in and out. So what we've done at this point, and this smells delicious, by the way, even with my limited ability to smell. What we've done, Barry, is we have taken a couple of chicken breasts, and we have cut those in very tiny pieces so that they'll cook faster. So about a ½ inch for the piece size. And then we have browned the chicken breast with a chopped onion. So that gives us a good start. And from there, after we browned that, then we took and added, and this is kind of interesting because a lot of people may not think of doing this, but we actually took a lemon and we squeezed the juice out of one lemon. We added half of it at this point, but we also went ahead and did a little extra flavor with a lemon zester, and we took all of the zest. And most of you know that the lemon has yummy flavoring, and all citrus fruits have this yummy flavoring that's right at the peel, and you can just see it's almost like a very fine dust, almost like pollen that we would think of. But this gives very intense flavor to anything, whether it's a salad dressing, or in this case, a soup. And
so you're actually using part of the peel in the soup? Then.
We are doing that. So I went ahead and did the zester, and this is a microplane. That is wonderful to take the zest off these lemon peels, very easy to use. And I did all of the lemon and put it in the soup, but only half the juice at this point. Very good. Then we added some other flavor agents. I did a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, if you wanted, you could take a couple of garlic cloves and brown those with your onion if you have fresh garlic, but this was an easy one to take off the shelf. And then I added some salt, a teaspoon of salt, but I'll tell you what I did. I don't have it out here, Barry, but I used a sea salt. Which is more crystal, and as we know, salts are all the rage for different flavorings now. You can do a Himalayan pink salt, and that simply means that different salts that you buy will often have different minerals in them that affect the flavor and the color in many cases. So take a look at some of the salts that are out there. There's a lot of different ones. I use the sea salt. That gives a more intense flavor, so you can cut back to taste depending on what you like. But it's very good. More of a coarse salt there too. So what we did then is we did the lemon zest, we did the lemon juice, and we added that to our brown chicken and onion. Then we added new potatoes. Now, this is a recipe where, let's say you have 5 or 6 new potatoes. Well, you can use 5 or 6 new potatoes. We say, okay, why not about 2 cups of potatoes, but if it makes 3, 3.5. It's kind of like the chicken breast. Depends on the size. You may get more chicken depending on the size. So it doesn't matter. And here's where we adjust. You want to use enough vegetable broth to cover your potatoes, your chicken, and your onions at this point. So our recipe will call for 3 cups. But if you need to add an extra cup, so be it. Now, I'm using vegetable broth in this soup because we have the whole chicken, and that's going to cook out a chicken flavor instead of using chicken broth in this. Now, if you were not using chicken chunks, you may want to go with chicken broth.
Yes.
To get the
Makes
flavor.
sense, makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you so far.
Yeah, there we go. So chicken and onions, a little lemon, a little garlic powder and salt.
Right.
Then we add the potatoes, cover with chicken broth, let that simmer till the potatoes are tender. And
Okay.
that's not very long if you'll cut your potatoes in smaller pieces.
Right.
And you'll want to cut them about a half to 3/4 of an inch.
About how long has this taken this to
Oh,
this point? would you
this
say?
is very tender because actually I was getting ready for you a little earlier this afternoon. No more than 15 minutes.
Okay.
In fact, it probably will not take 15 minutes
Okay.
for this to happen.
No,
So that's
very
a good
quick,
thing.
sure.
So these are definitely overdone at this point, but that's okay. It's going to give that nice soupy texture.
Oh, yeah.
Now I do want to say though, in this recipe, what we're doing, Barry, is we want to use again a waxy potato so it will hold its shape more.
Okay.
That's the difference in this recipe versus what we often think about, thick potato soup, where you really don't see a lot of potato piece. You just see the texture. And those russet potatoes work well for that. But this
Right.
one, we want to see that, so we've got that too. So let's go ahead and let's add, at this point, Barry, we're adding some milk. And I'm using 2%, and I think we're adding 1 cup at this point, right? I think, yeah. And again, you could add a little bit more if you've done a little bit more vegetable, but we're going to stay kind of at that cup. Now, I'm using a 2% milk. If you wanted this creamier, you could use whole milk,
Okay.
or you could even use half and half.
Okay.
Now that will really increase your calorie content a little bit more.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so the 2% milk is, I don't like skim milk as well because we've already used the broth, and skim milk is more water-based. So,
Okay.
so I tend to go no lower than 2% with this to
Okay.
cut back. But we've added the milk, and then we're going to come back and we're going to add asparagus. Now, a lot of people may not have asparagus in their garden. I didn't grow up with my grandparents and parents growing asparagus.
Right.
So I purchased asparagus, but this is becoming a great staple because it's really versatile and you can find it on sale in the spring. It's really a good buy. You get a lot of asparagus and you can use it in salads.
Okay.
And I think that we have shown an Asian sesame salad before
we
using
have.
asparagus.
Sure.
And, or you can just steam it like broccoli. You just treat it just like broccoli. But we're going to actually take this asparagus and we're going to cut it in pieces, and then we're going to place that in the soup. Now, when we talk about cutting asparagus, Barry, what we're wanting to do is get rid and trimming asparagus. You'll see that in your recipes, say trim your asparagus spears.
Okay.
So we have spears, but what we're trying to do is get the woody piece of the asparagus off.
Would that be kind of considered maybe the root, possibly?
Well, it's near the root.
Okay.
Actually, asparagus is kind of cut off at the root.
Okay.
But there's still, depending on maturity, a woodier piece of stem that will grow up. And usually the larger the diameter of the asparagus spear, more fiber. Let's just
Okay.
put it like that.
Okay.
So I'll say that. So what you're wanting to do is to cut off, and you can actually feel with your knife the woody part. It's very difficult to cut.
Sure.
And you'll feel the more tender part because it's very easy
Easier
to
to cut.
cut. So you go above the woody part to begin cutting your spears, and you want to remove, again, this would be like trying to chew all day to get this down.
Who wants to do that?
We don't want to do that too. So what we're going to do at this point, we've added the milk, and we're going to add these asparagus spears that I've cut in about 1-inch pieces.
Yes.
Now, some of these are much larger than 1 inches, and that's because this asparagus bunch that I purchased here in Scottsville has less mature asparagus spears.
Okay.
They're very tender, so they're going to cook faster. So you don't want it to cook away.
Right.
And so I'm simply cutting them a little bit larger
Okay.
so they don't lose their shape.
Okay,
And you can
makes
see
sense.
it, okay? So all we're going to do is we're going to stir in. We've added the milk. We're going to simmer. And all we're going to do is just simmer these till they're tender. And we'll turn this up just a little bit. And we'll talk a little bit more about some of the nutrient benefits of some of these things. Because that will cook really quick, really, really quick.
Okay, good.
Okay?
I guess so if you're hungry, that's a good thing, right?
That
It might
that
not be
is a
long
good
for it to
thing.
cook, yeah.
You don't have to cook. We have one more step to kind of thicken and add some flavor to our sauce, and we'll get to that in just a second. But again, so when buying asparagus, remember that you usually buy it in 1-pound bunches like this. And notice that depending on how someone has cut the asparagus, you can be well up into the tender part or have a large woody piece there as well. So you've got to do that knife test
Sure,
that I showed you a
sure.
minute ago to do that. You can also buy it pre-trimmed, and it'll be wrapped in cellophane. Probably not your best buy.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you're getting an extra step there, but it doesn't take long to cut this. I simply, you know, take and kind of group these together, you know, on a cutting board, and you can do whack, and you
And
can
then
cut
bam.
several at
Yeah.
one time,
Sure.
you know, so it doesn't take long to do those at all like that too. So again, you're talking about using waxy potatoes, and you're talking about using asparagus, you know, in your recipe. And this, again, is a great basis. You could add broccoli instead of asparagus. You could add carrots. You could add broccoli, asparagus, and carrots,
Okay, there you
and
go.
have it all, you know, there too. Or even better, Barry, I think an interesting thing in just a moment that you would add would be to use kale, some leafy kale, Swiss chard, or even some of your large turnip green leaves
Oh, wow. Okay.
that have more fiber. They're tougher, in other words. And those can kind of wilt, and we have some great recipes at the office that will be a kale and potato soup. And that's delish. And you could even add some sausage to that, and you could have what we call a Tuscan zucchini. I
Okay.
think, is that the right, zucchini? It's Olive Garden. Think about the
Okay,
sausage
yes.
potato soup at Olive Garden.
Maybe we'll
I think
try that one of these months.
Yeah,
Who
I
knows?
think my bronchitis has got affected my brain up here too. So again, our asparagus is kind of cooking here, and you don't want to let this cook too long. You want it to cook until the asparagus is still fairly green, almost tender crisp, because it will continue to cook, you know, with the heat like that too. So what we're going to do now is the last two things, and that is to actually thicken the soup. We would add a cup of low-fat sour cream.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm all with you on that one, Janet. I love
You
sour
love
cream.
sour cream?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Even if it's low fat.
Yeah, and the low-fat version doesn't affect the texture at all, I think. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty
Okay.
good stuff. Now, again, if you have already used half and half, it's going to be a lot richer. So that's how you can vary your broth in this particular soup. You know, the
Okay.
more fat in your milk product, and then you can add your sour cream here. So we're going to stir that in. We stir in the remainder of the lemon juice.
the lemon juice,
We
okay.
almost forgot that. Not a lot. Stir that
Still
in.
though. There was a little
And-
bit there, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a little. And of course, the amount of lemon juice you have will depend on the size of your lemon.
Sure.
So there too. But you can see this gives a nice springy texture to our asparagus and our potatoes. Now, our potatoes did cook down a little bit longer, waiting again. That's my fault for the afternoon. Now, I like to add my favorite seasoned pepper to things, Barry, but any coarse grind pepper would be wonderful now too. So this is also the time that if your salt before was not to taste, you could add a little more if you
At this
wanted.
point, okay.
But we're going to leave that alone. And we're going to get ready to, we'll show you the finished product here in a moment on some shots
Yeah.
that you'll have at the end of the
Oh,
program today.
most certainly, yeah. And that's actually a very simple recipe to make, isn't
It is very simple, and the base, as we said, can be the base for any type of beautiful spring soup.
Yeah, so
It
like you
can,
say, very
using one-
versatile.
Very versatile, so just keep that in mind. Chicken and onions, new potatoes, broth, you got it.
And if you guys would like this recipe, it's very easy to get. You can get it in one of two ways. You can email me at North Central. My email address there is barry.hyatt@nctc.com. Or you can simply go to our website. It's www.nctc.com, and we will put it on there for you so you can be able to see it and put it together and taste it and see how good it actually is. Right, Janet?
Sounds delicious, and it will be delicious, I can guarantee you. We've had a great taste test here at the office already.
Already.
today.
Well, Janet, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you, Barry.
And
Great.
thank you guys for watching, and we will see you again really soon. Take care and have a good rest of your day.